Well, hello everyone. It's super exciting to have another episode, and you have the wonderful, as always, Polly hosting. I say always, this is the first time I've hosted, but like here we are. Oh well, we've already said it, we're committed. So, welcome, geekies, to another episode of Those Couple of Geeks. So, let's just go around and make sure that you know whose voice is whose. So, we'll start with Vanna,
Hey.
Adam,
Hello.
and Tyler.
Hey, y'all.
Every time you say hi, it just gets like lower and slower.
Hey, that's just how I am. I'm just
Low.
funny,
slow.
low talking guys.
Well, I'm really excited this week to talk about what's freaking your geek, everyone.
I have something that's freaking my geek currently. I just finished an anime that I was not expecting to like as much as I did on Crunchyroll last night. It is called Odd Taxi, and if you've never heard of it, here's the premise. This is so good. Okay, it's only 13 episodes long. I watched it in the dub, which I like watching at night in the dub, so I don't have to read while I'm trying to go to sleep. Anywho, it is about these anthropomorphic, I think I'm saying that right, animal people, and the main character is a walrus who drives a taxi. And it starts out like pretty simple, like you're like, okay, what is this show? And then it kind of starts to evolve into more of this like mystery, like what's going on, and then there's like gang affiliation stuff that happens. And then I'll just leave it at this because I think everyone should watch it. Again, it's only 13 episodes and it's a, start finish. There's no second season coming or anything like that as far as I can tell. It seems very complete. The last few episodes were very good, really like surprised me, and like the whole show's good, but the last few episodes, like the twist, and that's all I'll say, was just like I was like, what? And I got very emotional, and I liked it a lot. So if you're looking for a new, fun, quick anime to check out, I watched it on Crunchyroll. It's called Odd Taxi.
That sounds like a Japanese anime. Basically, talking animals. But the main character, is a talking walrus cabbie. And then we follow him on an adventure. People that are probably listening to this probably are like, what the heck is anime? Or there's people that are like, yep, that sounds pretty, like if they're already into anime and stuff like that, they're like, yeah, this sounds pretty close to what anime is.
I think my favorite thing is that even in the middle of you explaining it, you talked about how like the plot evolved. Like, do you realize that you're talking about animals? You talked about things evolving.
Yeah,
That's great.
I don't
not
think
intended.
it's awesome.
It's very good. I promise you, for the listeners and for the other three of y'all here, that if you take the time to sit down and check out Odd Taxi and you like things like The Departed or like movies like that, right? Like these kind of like, what's going on? It kind of like picks up the pace over time type of a mystery. You'll like it. Odd Taxi. Check it out.
So you're saying it's the Godfather Walrus?
No.
That's right.
Stop.
Departed. The mobster walruses on the street.
All right, I'll go next. What's freaking my geek right now is Build-A-Bear just released their line of like 25 or 26 different Pokemon, and they are so cute.
So I was gonna say with that though, Vanna, we saw that ad on Facebook, and basically Holly goes, "Oh, you gotta tag Vanna in it." I was like, "Yeah, sure." ADHD, I forgot, but yeah, we saw a few too, and there was Umbreon, Espeon, Snorlax.
Alolan Vulpix was the one in particular.
Listeners, you probably don't know this, but I have an Alolan Vulpix tattooed on my leg.
It's her Pokemon. All of us have a Pokemon, and that one is hers.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Cool. For me, Tyler got a wonderful little surprise to freak his geek of what I did. So I have been trying to read haiku for him, as I have mentioned previously. I told him I would give it 5 books, and if I didn't like it after 5 books, which I feel like is enough time, like that's a lot, I would move on. I, in fact, did not enjoy it after 5 books, but I did decide a new manga that I wanted to read, and that is Dragon Ball. Because ever since we watched the abridged, I can't leave that universe. Like that, it just keeps, it's one of those like brain worms that just sits there and I can't stop thinking about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I think that if you were to give haiku another chance, it is a better depicted as a medium in anime. And that's because it's literally about volleyball. So reading and like seeing like slow chapter pictures, like a manga of volleyball doesn't translate as well as like watching it. I actually thought it was cool when I watched the anime. I've never read the manga, but I watched the anime, Van and I did, and I like learned about volleyball and like the positions and the sport itself so much that I got really into it. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I was like, I think you should give the haiku anime a chance at some point. I can understand not liking the manga.
And that's what I fully said too, is like when she was like, okay, I tried 5 books and it's kind of and I'm like, okay, totally understand. I read it and then jumped into the anime, and I was like, I think the anime sucked me in more for like watching it and everything like that, and like getting hooked on it. But like they don't have enough content out for the anime, so that's why I read it. So I finished it since it's already done. But yeah, when she was like, haiku, I just can't. It's kind of not my thing. Everything like that. I was like, oh, I'm so sad. But Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z though, and I was like, excuse me, wait, hold on. Is this a prank? Is this a joke? Like, what are you doing to me? You don't hurt me now. But she's like, no, I want to read it, and so she's been reading book 1 of the omnibuses that I have.
And is that Dragon Ball? You're starting out like OG, like, or you Dragon Ball Z?
So I'm starting with Dragon Ball Z simply because I already know those characters. I already know that world, and so I know that it'll be easier for me to get more invested in that and then go back. Plus, Dragon Ball doesn't have my kitten's true baby daddy Vegeta in it, and that's the one that really matters.
That's a good point.
So,
The
Darn
Saiyan
Vegeta.
Prince.
Goku is less disappointing when he doesn't have a kid to fail.
okay, true.
That's true, but Gohan always has Piccolo. That's his actual dad. So
Yeah, Piccolo steps up.
Goten as well. Honestly,
Goten's the
Goten as
youngest.
well.
Honestly, Goten, he doesn't really have a father figure. It's kind of sad.
No, he does, because in the Buu saga, him and Trunks have Piccolo as a dad, because Piccolo teaches them the fusion technique. Because Goku disappears, shows them the fusion technique and like how to like do the dance. But then basically Piccolo is like, all right, guys, we gotta train while Goku's doing this thing.
Yeah, canonically, Piccolo is the best father figure in all of Dragon Ball Z. There's no changing my mind about that.
Exactly.
You're not wrong. All right. Well, thanks, team, for geeking your freaks. I still hate it. Freaking your geek, whatever.
Hashtag.
We're gonna go with it. So let's roll right into the lovely game that I have prepared for you all. I'm very excited for this one. I've put in a lot of effort. I think it's gonna be really fun. So for those of you that don't know or don't remember, the reason that we're called those couple of geeks is because I am engaged to Tyler and Adam and Vanna are married. So we're couples. And so I thought it would be really fun to pull out like a bridal party game and play the Newlywed Game, but make it geeky.
Heck yeah.
So we're going to be playing the Nerdlywed Game. So I have sent you all a set of questions. We each have been given a couple of questions to answer truthfully and not tell anyone else. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the question and then we're all going to guess what that person said before they actually tell us what they say for that question. So like for example, if I asked Vanna, what is your favorite video game moment? I, Adam, and then Tyler would all answer, and then Vanna would tell us the correct answer. So I am going to keep track of who gets things correct, and we'll have a winner at the end of it, and you will have a lovely prize that you'll find out at the end.
Ooh,
Right?
I like prizes.
I especially like prizes that are edible.
Well, we live kind of far away, so
You can mail me some cookies. It's all right.
7 to 10 business days. It's fine.
Crumble delivers.
yeah, right. I'll just Grubhub you something.
Yeah.
Fine. So the order for the questions is going to be Tyler's going to go first, then Vanna, then Adam, and then me. And then we'll go through that depending on how much time we have. Like if we just have really great conversations, then I am down for continuing with this. But this is just meant to hopefully give you all a better idea of who we are, but also have some fun with it. So, do you all have any questions before we get started?
No?
Nah, let's get it going.
Let's
All
go.
right. Welcome all to the Newlywed Game. I'm very excited. Okay, so the first question is to Tyler. And Tyler, your question is, what is Tyler's favorite manga? So Ty, you need to have that written down or great. I was going to say in a place that it will not change.
I got it. I already got it all written down.
Perfect. I love your little whiteboard that he has. Listeners, just trust us. It's wonderful. So let's start with Adam. What do you think Tyler's favorite manga is?
So we just got done talking about all of the Dragon Ball Z stuff, and I would like to say that. So I am gonna say that. I'm gonna go with the Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z / Dragon Ball Super, that extended universe of manga. That's gonna be my guess for Tyler.
I want to be different. I'm going to say Bleach.
Ooh, that's a good guess too. And listeners, I don't know these answers either. So
Not cheating.
yeah, I don't know. Okay, knowing Tyler and knowing that he hasn't talked about this, I'm gonna say Bakuman because that's one of the mangas that he owns. All of except number 14, oddly enough.
It
But
got lost. It got lost. I don't know where it went. It got lost when I was in high school. So
all right. Tyler, reveal your answer.
I have to say all three were not correct. It is
Dang.
Full Metal Alchemist because I talked about this in the first episode. I love Full Metal because not only is it a brotherhood kind of manga of being a big brother,
Get it?
Brothers and everything like that. I liked everything with the drama, the story. It hit me more for listeners out there, I actually got in a really huge car accident with my right arm. I ended up having a lot of surgeries with it. I was able to still have it to this day, thankfully.
Yep.
But that's how that Full Metal Alchemist also just relates more to me now, just because of what Ed went through as well with his arm as well too. Gave me a lot of when I was going through recovery. It really helped me through that. So Full Metal Alchemist was my top one.
I mean, that makes sense. That's a really good one. So while I didn't guess it correctly, I like the pick.
All of them specifically were in the top 10. I promise you that. They were in the top 10, but Full Metal is at the top.
No, and that totally makes sense. I honestly forgot about FMA, so yikes. But it's fun to be able to see that answer come from you. It makes sense. I just thought that I was being sneaky with Bakuman. I thought that's what it was gonna be.
Using a home field advantage.
Yeah, well, that's what it's gonna be, okay?
That makes sense.
All right. Next is Vanna. So, Vanna, who is your favorite female anime character? And we will start with Tyler.
Well, we just got done with an episode a while back that talked about the lovely Nico Robin. Les Fleurs. Ces Fleurs,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. Try to remember what it was, but I'm going to go with Nico Robin.
All right. Adam?
It's a good guess. It was my first initial guess too, I will admit. However, I think also I'm going to try to be different. And so I'm going to go with Lucy from Fairy Tail because because I know Vanna pretty well, and I know that Fairy Tail was kind of one of her starter-ish anime that she watched. And she also has cosplayed as Lucy as well last year at the San Japan anime convention we went to. So I'm going to go with Lucy from Fairy Tail.
I was going
to from Holly.
Go with that one. I should have just had myself go before you. Well, since we're just trying to do different answers, then
you could pick the same answer.
I know, but the other one would be Tsunade, and so I'll pick Tsunade just because that is also a plausible answer.
That is good, yeah.
Right. I swear, if it's Lucy, I'm gonna be mad. Vanna?
So you're all wrong.
Dang!
Like Tyler's,
gosh.
you're all in the top 5, honestly. And when I tell you all, Adam will be the most mad. My favorite, so you each picked my favorite characters from those animes, absolutely. But technically, my favorite anime, female in general, above, just in general, is Vivi Nefertari, which I talked about a little bit with One Piece last week. And the reason is because she is this princess who literally went undercover with like the bad organization to get her kingdom back. And she literally like joined essentially the revolution, but she was also, they didn't know like she was on their side, but she led a whole like little rebellion, and she recruited the Straw Hats essentially to help her get her kingdom back. And a lot of people assumed she would become part of the crew after, and that she would just bail and join the pirates. But after they helped her get her kingdom back, she was like, "Well, I love you guys, but I'm like the princess." Like it was very realistic. She was like, I have to run this kingdom. Like that's why I did all of this. I can't just save them and ditch. Like our whole economy's crashed. Someone has to fix it. And so I feel like she's very realistic and logical and fun. So I just enjoy her whole as a good. But those are all good guesses.
I am upset with myself for not guessing that one, especially knowing that you like to go by like Princess VV and stuff like that on like social media things and stuff like that. Yeah, I should have known that one. I fumbled the bag on that one.
On Adam and I's first Valentine's Day, we did a painting with a twist, and the guys were forced to paint their partners, and Adam painted me as Princess Vivi with blue hair.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. See, when it came to looking at that too, I was like, it was either gonna be Nico Robin, or it was gonna be Nami, or it was gonna be Vivi, and I was like, well, we talked about Nico Robin, and you're so happy, you're like that was your top person, but then yeah, I just guessed wrong.
Top crew member for show.
Gosh, Adam, doesn't it like hit harder when it's your partner and you get it wrong?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, especially like, well, it's one of those like I was like, well, Tyler already guessed someone from One Piece, so let me like try to think outside of like not just One Piece, or yeah, outside of One Piece, like think of a different anime too. So yeah, if I'd stuck within that realm of One Piece train of thought, I probably could have gotten it, but that was my bad.
Nope, I feel you. I do. That's how I felt with that with Tyler's answers. Like I should have known. I get it.
Yeah.
I do. All right. Well, if anyone wants a score update, we're all tied. Look at us go.
We're all
We
winners
did it.
here, or losers, depending on how you look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully this isn't how the rest of this will go. Okay, so the next one is for Adam. Adam, what is your favorite Studio Ghibli, however you want to say it, movie? Vanna, you want to go first?
Dang, I was hoping y'all could help me rule some out. Because it's between three, and I was like, if one of them throws out the other one, I have a good reason to throw out a different one.
Of course.
I would have said a different one, but I'm not going to say it because I could give the other team members an advantage. So I'm going to say My Neighbor Totoro because you like the food.
Fair. I can
That's
see that.
That's a good
Yep.
guess.
Yep. Okay, I am gonna go next. Tyler, so you can't. I'm gonna say Spirited Away because that's my favorite one. It also has very good food, and I'm just gonna like wish that upon you that you would enjoy the same thing that I do. Tyler?
Well, I'm gonna go with Howl's Moving Castle is the one I would go with.
Look at those
It's-
main three.
Yeah, I was thinking Ponyo, but at the same time too, I think Howl's like those are the three that it's either that or Princess Mononoke. But I'm gonna go with Howl's Moving Castle.
Can I say what my three guesses would have been? Like,
Yes.
obviously, the other two
Yeah,
don't
sure.
count.
Yeah.
It would have been My Neighbor Totoro or Spirited Away or The Cat Returns.
Oh, that's another good one.
Those are my three guesses, but the one that I want to count is My Neighbor Totoro.
Yep. Fair. Okay, Adam.
So the correct answer is Holly's guess. It's Spirited Away.
Yes!
So Holly gets a point on the board. We are on the board.
Yes. I am winning my own game.
That's why Holly wanted to go before me, because she's like, "Well, I'm gonna say my favorite Studio Ghibli movie so I can win it."
No.
I know I'm a brat. I'm kidding.
So here's my reasoning, and actually, I think this question, in my opinion, was almost harder for me than it was for y'all because I like pretty much all of them, with the exception of like a few that are just like not as good. I wouldn't say I don't like them, but like all the ones y'all guessed are definitely top 5. But the reason I like Spirited Away the most is because it was the first one that I saw. And it was also one of actually the first. So when I kind of had that moment in my life where I was into anime for a bit, and then I was kind of not bullied out of it, but it was one of those things where it was like, that's nerdy. I should like try not to be, whatever. But then I was like a few years later, I'm like, no, whatever, I like this. So, and part of what got me back into it was watching Spirited Away in college at one point. I don't remember where I saw it or whatever, but I was just like, dang, this is like so good. And like the animation quality is like pop. Like what Holly said with the food, I remember being like getting hungry from watching an animated film's food. Like, you know what I mean? And that's yeah, so the art style, and then of course the music is very cool. It's very like I was really into, especially in college and still now, listening to like those lo-fi like beats and stuff to study to. So with all of those things, that's kind of why Spirited Away holds that favorite status for this question. But truthfully, I could sit there and watch every single one of the ones that you guys listed and be just as satisfied.
Yeah, I was gonna say, going to the orchestra stuff, like ever since I was like with music and stuff like that in school, that was the epitome of what I would listen to. Like I listened to like the pop culture music and everything like that, but mainly I listened to themes, and a lot of them from Studio Ghibli films. And just going back to it, I watched Porco Rosso recently, which is also another great one. If you haven't watched it, it's pretty fun one to listen to watch too. But the score for that one too is just so upbeat and lively, and it's based in Italy, so it's got a little bit of that vibe with it too. So totally agree with that, Adam.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It was my first one too, and so like it always holds a special part. So like I totally feel that energy.
Yeah, and I mean it won like a ton of awards and stuff too. It's a very like recognized of all of those films. It's probably the most recognized too. I think that's how I stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
I'm in the unpopular camp. That it's one of my least favorite because it was my first one and it terrified me. The parents turning into pigs. When I say that for my formative years, I had nightmares of my parents turning into pigs. I couldn't handle it. It was too much for me.
I mean, yeah, one of Vanna and I's good friends from grad school is also terrified of Spirited Away. Like it is a horror movie for her. So, like I get it. I can understand how this would be scary to someone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's my turn. So the question that everyone gets to answer for me, and I'm going to give you a big little hint at the end of when I ask the question, okay? So the one for me is, what is Holly's comfort video game? And I want you all to know right now that it is not what you think it is. It is not an obvious guess.
That doesn't help me either, and I live
Big
with
little
you,
hint.
It's like
That
Street
wrecked
Fighter
me.
2.
No, that wrecked me. I knew what I thought it was.
Anna, well then you can go first. Tell us what you think it is.
You just told me it's wrong. I have to rethink this through.
I want to know
Okay,
your guess now.
right?
Yeah, that's your guess.
You're locked in, Vanna.
My guess was Pokemon. I'm so upset.
Okay. Pokemon? Tyler?
I mean, it is in the Pokemon field, Pokemon Cafe, because you've constantly played it, but at the same time too, I have no clue because you do mobile games, you do the Switch. You're a conundrum with that because I don't know. I'm gonna say Pokemon Cafe to lock in my answer with that one.
Dang.
Can I
I know.
change my guess to Kirby?
Sure. You can change
Thank
your
you.
guess to Kirby. Yep.
Okay, so it's me. I'm up, right? I'm going to be guessing.
It's on you.
Man, this is tough because honestly, their two guesses probably the closest that I'm going to get. Like and this is kind of cheating a little bit, but I see you on Pokemon Cafe Mix on your Switch pretty frequently. So
Almost constantly. Every night.
With that, I'm going to guess Pokemon Cafe Mix as well. Because honestly, outside of that, I don't really have much of like a basis for like another guess. But I feel like it's going to be wrong. So I'm really curious to hear what it is.
Yeah, so it was not Pokemon related.
Of course not. Of course not.
So y'all have that going for you. The only one that would have had a shot at this, in my opinion, would have been Tyler. So my answer for this is a horror game.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
A
No.
horror game? I don't think I
Yes.
approve of this.
I know, I'm awful. And this is why
Wait.
No, it is a thing. So,
Okay.
Holly, yeah.
Can I interject? Can I guess based on that before you say it?
I will let you all get another guess, knowing that it's a horror game. Deal?
Deal.
Okay, we're gonna start over the order then, so you have to go last.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, Vanna.
Outlast.
Okay, Tyler.
Outlast.
Adam.
I was gonna guess Outlast.
Okay. Great answer. I love Outlast. It is still not correct.
What?
I hate
Which one
it.
is it?
It's gonna
My
be
favorite. What do you think it is,
I'm
Adam?
not gonna keep guessing.
I'm
I'm
not
just
gonna
gonna
keep
shoot you in the
guessing
dark.
anymore. I'm not gonna keep guessing anymore
Let
because
me
I'm
hear it.
blanking now.
So my favorite comfort video game is a game called Gtfo.
Jesus Christ! God damn it! I knew it, and
I've never heard
GT
of this.
GTFO is a multiplayer horror survival game.
hate
Where
myself.
basically like the four players get dropped into this like crater and they have to fulfill like different tasks set by the warden, and they're like four prisoners basically. And there's like these mutated creatures that they have to kill, but they have to kill silently. So if you alert one of them, the rest of them wake up. And I love it. It's so fun. It's like you just get a super focus, and I love strategy. So for me, this is like, it has a really good story while still being multiplayer. It's so fun.
So it is multiplayer? It's always like it's a multiplayer game that you play with like other people online. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So would
Yeah.
recommend. I'd be down to play with other people.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I've never even heard of it, so yeah, I'd play it.
It's very good. I first found it from watching Markiplier play it on YouTube with his friends. So that's where it comes from.
I'm so mad at myself right now because I watch it with you constantly, and I knew that it was, but no, my brain went to Outlast because that was the first horror game that you showed me. And now I'm sitting here sulking and saying, "Wow, good job, bud. You screwed up."
If anyone's wondering, it was literally on the TV 2 days ago.
Yeah, no. To the viewers out there, I'm very mad at myself because I watched it with her.
If it helps, we are all O for O as far as it comes to guessing our partner's favorites.
That's true.
That is
Yep.
true.
It's just me knowing Adam at this point.
There we go.
It's me being the same person as Adam.
Yeah. Well, we've got more rounds too. We got a chance to bring this back.
Exactly.
Okay, let's bring it back up to the start of the order. Let's see if now that we've got our feet wet, what do we think here? Okay, Tyler, it is back to you, my dear. So the question is, what was Tyler's first gaming console? Okay, Adam, you first.
Okay. Now I'm trying to think about like your age and like like where you're at in life, like what you might have grown up on.
I'm 28 years old. I'm 28 years old,
I thought you were
230
27.
pounds.
So sizing you up with all that information, I'm going to guess Super Nintendo. I'm gonna go with the SNES.
The SNES, nice. I like it. To be fair, also I don't even know the answer to this.
Maybe you'll guess
Hannah?
right.
So I'm gonna guess the Nintendo 64.
I'm gonna guess the PlayStation. That you were a late bloomer to this.
So, all of you were not correct. I got the original. Yep, I had the original Game Boy, the original brick.
The
What I had, the brick. And what was funny about it was basically my first game on the Game Boy wasn't a mainstream game. You think it'd be Pokemon. Pokemon was second. Pokemon was one that I was like, okay, I gotta go get it now because I know that this is here. My first game on the Game Boy was Tetris. I played Tetris, strategy game. I loved it so much.
I still love Tetris. I still play all the Tetris games. And I will say that is not a bad game to have as your first game on the handheld console because I don't know. I can sit there and play Tetris. I have Puyo Tetris. I have Tetris Connected. I play I play Tetris 99, that Nintendo Tetris Battle Royale game. I'm terrible at it. I don't ever win. But I usually get in the top 20, so not bad.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Tetris. So honestly, props to you. And what's funny is I almost guessed Game Boy because of the fact that I was like, well, I wonder if he was like a home console or like a handheld console guy. So
Yeah, so for me it was the Game Boy, and then after that it was the PlayStation. So Holly had it somewhat right for that because it was It went the Game Boy, the PlayStation, to the Nintendo 64, GameCube, and then my dad got the Xbox and everything like that. So
Stuff. I like it. I, to be fair, I was not thinking of handheld consoles at all. I was thinking of like your traditional consoles. So, and I still probably would have gotten it wrong because I probably would have said the Game Boy Color, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward, Vanna, this question's for you. What is your least favorite fandom? And we will start with Tyler.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. So I'm just gonna go on a limb because I have no clue. And I'm just gonna go Attack on Titan. Because I've never heard you talk about it and everything like that. So I'm gonna say Attack on Titan. I don't really know.
Me help a little bit because fandom is very broad
Hmm.
thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
I considered the fandoms to be like superheroes versus like anime versus like fantasy. Like I didn't name it,
Okay.
by the way,
Okay.
Okay.
and very
Mm.
broad. So I wouldn't go for specific-y, like real specific-y things,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll say. Let's see. I'll say comic book stuff, like superhero specific things.
Yeah, fair. I will go next. I'm going to say like the fantasy romance people, like the fan fiction fandoms, how over the top they get. That is my guess. Adam?
Man, okay. So the funny thing is like the two that y'all guessed, I feel like she actually likes. So like knowing Vanna, I'm like, oh no, I feel like she likes those things, but I cannot think of the fandom that would be, I guess it's least favorite. So it's not necessarily like hate, but like the fandom that you don't like the most. I'm super stumped on this. Gosh, if I had to guess, like the gamer, like the competitive gamer fandom, like the people that play like competitive Smash Bros or competitive Mortal Kombat, or like, you know what I mean? Like the ones that are like not like playing it for fun, but playing it for like tournament wins, like that fandom of group of people. And that might be too niche. So maybe I'm way off base here.
That would make sense though, because like and I'm sure that Holly doesn't like it either. Like competitive stuff in general, some of the people that come out to the competitive stuff, it's just not fun. There's some people that are just, they take it too seriously. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh at regionals and like try to play professionally and like stuff like that, like try to get like top 8s and stuff like that. And there were some people that were just not good like environment to be around. So like I could see that.
Yeah, esports. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Vanna, reveal your answer.
So, Star Trek.
That feels very specific. You told us it was something more general.
No, I consider like superheroes and then Star Wars and Star Trek and bronies. Like, I didn't want to give it away, but like I consider those all to be like kind of different fandoms. It was just
Okay,
on the
yeah.
opposite scale of where y'all were thinking.
Okay, fine.
Competitive sports is a good one. I'll be honest, I didn't even think of that as a fandom. Truth be told, Tyler hasn't seen my bathroom, but Holly's seen a lot of my decor in my bathroom. My bathroom is comic book themed, and those are my decorations, not Adam's.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Tyler.
See, I just threw it out there. I just was like, I have no clue. But going back to Star Trek, you made a nice choice with that. As a Star Wars fan, as a Star Wars diehard, yeah.
I've watched the old Star Trek. I've watched the new Star Trek. I think Chris Pine's body is chef's kiss. I just cannot get into it. And and don't get me wrong, I've only seen like a couple, and I've only seen 1 or 2 Star Wars movies, but I would still pick Star Wars over Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised by that. I will say, in regards to Holly's guess, I knew that was not correct because Vanna has recently gotten me into reading a book series that's by an author named Sarah J. Maas, and it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses. And so this is a geeky thing. But it is very much a fantasy romance type of novel, especially in the later books. It's very good for anyone out there who's looking for like a fun book series that's like a little more on the adult side, but like still has those elements of like Hunger Games and like Twilight. But it's very good. And so I was like, I think she likes that stuff quite a bit. So
It's a little smutty. I like my
yeah.
smut.
Well, and to be fair, I was thinking of like this like the actual like smutty fan fiction, like the stories that I read. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
So, yeah. Tyler's aware.
I'm just gonna go. I usually just go play video games and
It's true.
There's, like when you need alone time, like there's a chapter in Mist and Fury that just like
Slaps.
Okay. All right, let's
Yeah,
let's
all
reel
right.
it in, ladies. Let's
it?
reel it in.
whoa,
Okay.
PG-13, PG-13.
Okay, so we are down to our last two questions. And if anyone's wondering, I am still winning 1-0 to 0 to 0.
Yep.
Woo.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So the next question is, who is Adam's favorite male anime character? Vanna, would you like to go first?
I'm gonna say Zoro.
Mm-hmm. Yes, good. Tyler?
I am gonna go with the previous answer from one of the previous podcasts in the form of Bon Clay.
Yeah, okay. Touche. I
Yeah.
like it. I am going to go with something we also talked about in one of the last podcasts. And I'm going to say Natsu Dragneel. I was in between Natsu and Jiraiya. And I'm guessing neither of them are right, but that's what I was in between. So, Adam?
Okay, so first, before I reveal the answer, I'm going to reveal it in the order that is Vanna was correct. It is Zoro. That is my favorite
Yeah!
but Bon Clay is in the same One Piece, the anime manga One Piece that is the greatest of all time. Also up there, also super up there. And then actually, Holly, your guesses were super high as well. Actually, more so your second one. So Jiraiya is definitely my favorite male character in all of Naruto. So if it was like, who's your favorite male, anime manga character in Naruto? Jiraiya. That would have been the answer for sure. I just think his whole like the plot story development, everything with him being kind of like going from almost like deadbeat dad to like stepfather stepping in kind of guy throughout the series for Naruto.
Yes.
All that stuff. I love him. But Vanna nailed it. She's correct, and it is in fact Zoro from One Piece. I almost said Luffy, just because they're both pretty great when it comes to like leading role characters in One Piece. They're both pretty top tier, but I do like the strong, silent, three swords samurai. Like the fact that they gave him three swords. Like it's just he's cool, and he does a lot of cool stuff in the show that like keeps him up there as like the number two on the crew. Like he's not like outstaged or outshined by other people on the crew. So all great guesses.
Amazing. See, and I never would have guessed that.
Right.
Did
Yeah,
you
you were at a
think-
disadvantage.
That's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
My other answer was Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, because you talked about that too. So
Yeah. And in the vein of Yu Yu Hakusho, that would have been my favorite male anime character there. So
Okay. So now it is 1-1-0-0. Believe it or not, the women are winning.
I believe it.
yeah, I do too.
A little more attentive there, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so the last question is mine, and so that means, Vanna, if you get it right, you would win this whole thing. Okay? No pressure. So speaking of which, Vanna, would you prefer to go first or last?
Last.
Okay. So my question is, what was the first manga Holly ever read? Adam, we'll start with you.
Man, so that's a tough one because I don't know the answer right out the gate. Do not know the answer. I am going to guess Naruto, but that's only because I do know that you like Naruto quite a bit, and I do know you've read it. So that's going to be my guess.
Fair. I understand that. Tyler?
I'm gonna guess a really random one just because you had them, and I think when we first started dating, you were talking about it. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the original Pokemon manga specifically. So that original run of Red, everything like that. So I'm going to say that because I had another one in mind, but I won't say it.
Okay, Vanna.
So I know that your first one was from your mother, and it was either Inuyasha or Fruits Basket. And I'm so torn because I can't remember which one was first. Like, did the chicken lay the egg, or did the egg come first? I don't know.
Okay, I just want you to know it is one of those.
I know.
Oh, I know
knew
for
it.
sure.
I knew it.
Like, I knew for sure whenever they both said, I said they're wrong. I'm gonna say Inuyasha.
Vanna.
Ah.
I am so proud of you. That's right.
Oh my god.
Inuyasha was my very first anime and manga. I watched it, and then as soon as I wanted to start reading, my mom bought it for me because it was something that I already enjoyed, and I hated reading as a little kid. And so that's how she got me into it, which is funny now knowing how much I read. But at the time I didn't. And so that's how she got me to read, was reading Inuyasha, and I owned all of them up to date when they were coming out. It was intense. It was a lot of books.
That's awesome. Way
But
to go, Vanna.
That was my second guess.
I know, pulling it out straight at the end, Vanna.
Yeah.
For real, the last two.
But in my defense, you've told me that. Does that make sense? Like, all of our other questions, I feel like it's like, have we even talked about that? I don't really know that anyone's blatantly said it ever, you know?
Yes.
In your defense, actually, on that, I've also heard Holly talk about this story. I just completely forgot. So I think props
Fair.
still go to you on remembering it.
And then there's my side of it being the future husband, where I was at the top 3 of it being King of Thorn, Inuyasha, or Pokemon, because she had all 3 of those when we first started dating, and it was just that mental mind game where men have that you basically are like, wait, what was the answer? Oh god, she's staring at you. What? Answer something. Just throw out an answer. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's not. Just do it. You have a 75% shot. Just do it. That's how I felt.
I think your guess was good, though. I will say, because I think that when you go something as classic as Pokemon, it's older. It was more available to younger kids a lot of times. I think that as far as your guess, I'm gonna say that was a good guess.
Well, and all of you guessed correct things, if you will, because Inuyasha was the correct answer. Fruits Basket was the first manga that I ever got to pick out on my own. And so that would, is kind of correct too. Pokemon was if you count it as an anime, it kind of can fall into cartoony too. It was one of the first ones that I watched and read as well. And then Naruto is the first box set that I ever fully read through start to finish, and I owned every single one of them. Sold them, but I owned the true box sets of them. So you all are correct.
Nice.
Vanna's just the most correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vanna, seriously, congrats on pulling out that win in the last 2 questions.
Yeah.
As it
We did the right one.
Vanna is married to both Adam and I.
Woo!
That was
I can
actually
start
what
a
the
harem.
prize was.
Correct. That is the correct statement. Vanna, we're now married. It'll be weird because people think that we're already siblings because we're both short, especially when you dyed your hair red. I have red hair for everyone, and there was one time that Adam actually thought that I was Vanna.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a good moment.
You're the same height and you had the same hair for a while. It was, it could be confusing.
Oh yeah, it was great. So that is now your gift. We are legally wed. You are now Steven Sloberg. So enjoy
There
that.
you go.
Cool. Yep. But yeah,
God.
thank you all for listening to our lovely show. Vanna will be holding the reins in 2 weeks with our next episode. It's exciting. As always, if you have any feedback for us, feel free to send us an email to thosecoupleofgeekspodcastinfo@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're also on, depending on where you're listening, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon. We're on Apple. That's the last one. Forget about that one. So listen to us in whatever place is best for you. Know that there isn't just one option. You've got a couple different ones. So that's all that I have. Thanks, everyone. See y'all later.
Bye.
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 Thanks, y'all.